In June 2024, McDonald's terminated a 3-year partnership with IBM. The cause: an automated order taker that, across more than 100 U.S. drive-thrus, had added 260 Chicken McNuggets to a single car's tab, garnished vanilla ice cream with bacon, and turned a request for water into butter packets. This was not a glitch. It was the collapse of an architectural philosophy, the idea that you can bolt a stochastic language model onto a deterministic business and call it intelligence. The pilot plateaued in the low to mid 80% range. Human order takers operate above 90%. In quick-service restaurants, that gap is not a software bug. It is the end of the wrapper era. The drive-thru is one of the most acoustically hostile environments a microphone can face. Engines idle, radios play, wind hits the array. The signal-to-noise ratio is non-stationary, and IBM's Watson-based stack lacked the multi-stage filtering needed to isolate the driver's voice. Without beamforming, the system processed any voice it could hear, including the car in the next lane. That is how 9 sweet teas from one customer ended up on another customer's tab. When the audio degraded, the model fell back to greedy decoding. It matched phonetic fragments to high-probability menu items. A request for water and vanilla ice cream became caramel sundae with butter and ketchup. A reliable drive-thru architecture is not one model, it is 4 layers stacked. Layer 1 is signal processing. A multi-microphone array runs minimum variance distortionless response beamforming (MVDR) to steer a spatial null toward the driver's seat and reject the lane next door. A neural spectral subtraction network, trained on thousands of hours of engine rumble, wind, and rain, removes the noise fingerprint in the frequency domain before the audio ever reaches a language model. Stanford research shows that adding a camera that tracks lip motion drops the word error rate from 28.8% to 12.2%. Layer 2 is the probabilistic edge. The large language model handles linguistic flexibility, colloquialisms, mid-sentence reversals, regional accents, but it never decides what gets added to the order. Layer 3 is the deterministic-core. A symbolic inference engine reasons over a structured knowledge graph of the menu. It carries hard rules, a maximum quantity cap per item, category exclusions, ice cream plus bacon resolves to 0, mandatory human escalation on high-dollar tickets. When the language model proposes 18,000 cups of water, the core flags an exception and routes the transaction to a manager, diffusing the viral bomb before it leaves the speaker. Layer 4 is state. A recurrent network maintains the brain state across the conversation, partial orders, forgetting curves for corrections made minutes ago, latent preference structure. The result is not a chatbot. It is a sovereign, deterministic system with a probabilistic surface. The architecture is not theoretical. While McDonald's terminated its pilot at 85% accuracy, Wendy's deployed FreshAI on Google Cloud and reached roughly 99%, cutting 22 seconds from service time through deep integration with the point of sale in the kitchen display. Taco Bell, partnered with NVIDIA under the Byte by Yum program, runs multi-agent orchestration across more than 500 locations. With 2 million successful orders and the fastest overall drive-thru at 4.16 minutes, White Castle on SoundHound's Julia runs voice ordering in 30% of its footprint. The 2025 drive-thru study confirms the pattern. AI lanes are 22 to 29 seconds faster than human-staffed lanes. AI-led locations record a 97% overall satisfaction rating, 6 points above the traditional average. Average order value climbs from $8.97 to $9.51. Suggestive cell success reaches 69% against 64% for humans. For a 50-location chain, the throughput math yields $185,600 in additional annual revenue per car added to the hourly capacity. The boardroom takeaway is this. Every customer order is biometric data, regulated, and one viral post away from a public crisis. Sending those orders through a third-party cloud exposes the brand to the Illinois Biometric Information Privacy Act and to whatever statute comes next. Inside the enterprise, 50% of knowledge workers already use unauthorized AI tools, and 46% of them will keep using those tools after a formal ban. The wrapper era ended not because the models were bad. It ended because the architecture was wrong. Accuracy and speed are now the ultimate forms of hospitality, and they are produced by sovereign infrastructure with a deterministic core. We architect the drive-thru, the contact center, and the agent the same way. Signal first, deterministic core, sovereign edge, read the 17-page brief, about 22 minutes, then decide whether your AI is bolted on or built in.